Hi there. Sister asked for me to talk for a few minutes about how I've used gratitude and positivity in my life. So, in honor of Movember, which of course was started there in Australia, here is a photo of my best Mo back in 2012. And it is terrible. I am sorry. I guess mainly from being raised in a Christian family in Kentucky, I was always told to be grateful for what we had. Thanksgiving was more of an action than a day of the year in our house, and at Christmas I always had to say thanks for gifts I got, even if I didn't like them. As I grew older, though, that understanding shifted from material possessions like food and shelter to simple truths like how God gave us life, how God gives each of us talents and purpose. And it's my belief that if you don't use the gifts that God gives you, it's the same as being ungrateful. And so I've always tried to fully enjoy life as another way of showing God that I am grateful. Then on Easter Sunday 2013, my life changed forever. I was headed home from church on my moped. Meanwhile, a family in a van headed to a different church service in a different direction was late and tried to hurry across the intersection. They didn't see me. Next thing I knew, I was waking up in an ambulance. The doctor told me I had a spinal cord injury and that I had less than a 5% chance of ever walking again. I learned much later that he then took my parents aside and told them I had 0 chance of walking again. He just didn't have the heart to tell me. Was I grateful? Not at all. I wanted to blame God very badly. But the Bible told me that God was not to blame. I had a very real and intense feeling that something, maybe the devil, maybe something else, was trying to keep me from living my life to glorify God. And that if I got down on myself or I let this injury beat me, then it would win and God would lose. And I would lose. Just like the book of Job. So I made it my mission to laugh as much as I could, to smile and to enjoy my therapy, to get to know others going through the same thing in the hospital. And thankfully, instead of being annoyed at my good mood, they seemed to also have their spirits lifted. Don't get me wrong, this was still extremely hard. I would read Psalms at night and cry, just as David cried out to God when he didn't know why bad things were happening. But it felt like God was on my side and we were winning in whatever weird battle this was. I couldn't run marathons anymore, sure, but maybe I could try learning some new sports. Instead of biking, maybe I could get a hand cycle. Right now I'm getting into rowing with a team, and soon I hope to train with a racing wheelchair so I can race Rebecca in a marathon. I'm sure she'll still beat me though. One day in therapy I learned that I could climb stairs, even if I could only lift my right leg. At first I could only climb a few stairs before I was too tired, then 20, then 40. That seemed like good improvement, so I signed up to climb the Sears Tower in an event. The first year, I grueled through 70 floors and it took me 5 hours. The next year, I made it the whole way in about 3 hours. Even though there was a lot of pain at the time, I tried focusing on the things going well and going right. The hardest by far was actually leaving the hospital and realizing that this was my new life and reality. It was extremely hard on not just me, but all of us. Rebecca, my parents, my brother, my friends. Nobody knew quite what life was going to look like from here on out. Thankfully, Rebecca still decided to marry me. We both had no idea what the heck was going on at the time, but I'm glad she did. Everything about that time was really scary. It still is sometimes. It kind of forces you to have more faith and hope because the alternative is to be scared and depressed. And who wants that? At least that's how my logical brain works and still works. It's easy to be grateful for the good things in your life, but think about some of the harder things and how they have made you stronger as a person. This has without a question made me a stronger person, and I am very grateful for that. I'm grateful that when presented with an incredible challenge, my soul won out. I learned that my willpower is far stronger than I ever imagined, and that is extremely valuable knowledge. I feel like I can do anything. Maybe not go for a run, but there's a lot more to life than that. I'll leave you with my favorite Mother Teresa quote. We have this hanging in our apartment close to the front door as a reminder to us. It helps when we get down about things just like anybody else. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin. Thank you guys for letting me share this with you. Back to you, sister.